In this video, we will present you a learning scenario of the activity feeding the cats and the composition of the entire code. In this activity, the player will have to calculate how many cats can be fed in each of 10 rooms. In each room, there are a random number of bowls. All the bowls in the room are of the same size, which is random. Player gets the feedback if the answer is correct or not. At the end of the game, player finds out how many of the answers were correct and how many were wrong. From the previous activities, students already know how to use conditionals, the use of repeat and times loop, the use of variables, and how to print the text. In this activity, students will learn how to use for loop and what it does, how to ask the user for an input and how to use it, how to assign a random value to the variable, how to join different strings, how to use arithmetic operations, and how to check if the answer is correct. The expected duration of the activity is 45 minutes. Students can work individually, in pairs, or in groups. The role of the teacher is to help them and to explain the more complex parts. Now we will see the composition of the code. We first have to put the block when the green flag is clicked, so that we can start the program with clicking on the green flag. After that, we have to put in some instructions. I'll just write instructions in here, and you'll write the whole one. But what we actually have to do is we have to learn how to pick random numbers so that we can put random numbers on for number of bowls and for the bowl size in order for cats to be fed. Okay, so the random number can be picked with this block. Pick random number from example 2 to 10. This is going to be for the number of bowls in a room, and I'm going to duplicate it and I'll put 1 to 5 for the number of cats that can each eat from each bowl. Okay, to store this, I need new variables. Variable number of bowls, and variable bowl size. Okay, I'll set the value of number of bowls to a random number from 2 to 10. The computer is going to choose the number each time this block is called, and also I'm going to put the bowl size to random number from 1 to 5. Okay, this is what we have to do 10 times. Why 10 times? Because the question is going to be asked 10 times, and we are going to use a loop for this. We could use the loop repeat 10 times, but we won't use it today because we want to know the number of the room in which we are at the moment, and we are checking for it. So we're going to use the for loop. Okay, for loop is interesting because there is already a variable I, or you can rename it to other names as well, which is the index, which counts from 1 to 10 in this example, and it repeats the loop 10 times. You can start from 2, 5, and so on, and it increases I by 1 each time the loop repeats. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we are going to ask a question, okay, to get the input. We want to know if the player can calculate how many cats can be fed in the room if the number of bowls is defined and the bowl size is defined as well. Okay, so we are going to use both variables in the question itself, so we need a new command. This is join. This block actually helps us to put more than just one string of words in the question or in the say command. Okay, we're going to need 5 spaces. I can reduce or add additional spaces by clicking on the black arrows here. And what I need to do is set a question. How many cats can be fed in room? Okay, let's put this I in here. So in room 1, if there are number of bowls in the room of bowls, each can feed bowl size of cats in the room. Bowls and can. Okay, so this is our question, and now we need to check the answer. Okay, we have the variable answer, which changes every time the ask comment is called. So if you need the answer for a longer period of time or further down the program after another question is asked, do use a new variable and store the answer there. Okay. What we need to do with this answer, we have to check whether the number of bowls times bowl size equals the answer the player entered. So what we need is if-else statement, and in here we have to compare whether the answer equals the multiplication of number of bowls times bowl size, and if it does, we can say correct, and if it doesn't, we say this is wrong and tell the correct answer. So we are going to use the join operator again here, and we are going to say the correct answer is this multiplication of number of bowls times number of bowl size. Okay. What we still have to do is we have to count how many answers were correct. So we are going to put another variable in correct answers. Okay, and we are going to set it to 0 before we start the for loop. Answers. Okay, and we're going to change the correct answers by 1 each time the answer is correct. So we're going to count how many correct answers are there, and in the end we are going to tell that it's the end of the game. Okay, this is the end. And we're going to give them feedback how many answers were correct and how many were wrong. And we're going to use join for this reason as well. So you answered correctly the correct answer. Times. And I'm going to duplicate this. and say you answered wrongly. You answered wrongly. Now I'll have to reduce the number of questions, which is 10, by number of correct answers, and the girl will tell me how many times I answered correctly. Here are the new concepts we covered in this lesson. For loop can be used instead of loop repeat 10 times when the variable has to be increased every time. We assign random number as the variable of the variable. Results of arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo can also be used as the value of the variable. To reduce or expand the number of input fields to join into a string, we can press the black arrows. When asking a question, the input is stored in the variable answer that changes every time a new question is asked. In order to use the answer later in the program, you can store it in another variable. For more information, visit the project website.